Namaskar. Today's story in the series of the myths behind the asanas is both familiar and new. For this is the story of the son of the mighty wind god Vayu and Anjana Devi. Anjaneya, the revered monkey god. As a child, Anjaneya, it is said, was a bundle of mischief and very active with a very healthy appetite to match. He was always ready to eat anything that was tasty and within his reach. Every day, an hour before dawn, Anjana, his mother, went out to collect flowers and fruits. Usually, little Anjaneya would then be asleep, so she would leave him at home and return before he woke up. One day, she was held up on her way back, and Anjaneya woke up at the usual time and was terribly hungry. He called out to his mother, "Ma, I'm hungry." He waited for his mother to run to him. He said loudly, "Where are you, Ma?" There was no reply. When he found no sign of Anjana Devi anywhere, he decided to find food on his own. He thought, why should I not go out and get fruits to eat? He ran down the steps of his home, and then he noticed a red ball to the east. It was at some distance. It was the sun rising. Little Anjaneya watched the sight. It was beautiful. The whole sky was aglow with morning twilight. The sun looked like a big juicy fruit. He thought that the red sun was a fruit and flew up to snatch it. Though the sun's heat burnt his face, he was determined and continued to fly towards the sun, pushing off from the earth with his powerful monkey legs and stretching up through his long monkey arms. He leapt and soared to seize the sun and succeeded. He popped the sun into his mouth and began to eat it, causing the universe to go dark, which of course alerted the gods that something was very wrong. The sun scalded Anjaneya's mouth, but that stubborn monkey held on until Lord Indra hurled his diamond thunderbolt, the Vajra, straight at his jaw. And that did it. The little child opened his mouth and dropped the sun, and the universe light returned to normal. But that Vajra hurt him. In fact, it broke his jaw, or Hanu as it is called in Sanskrit, giving him the nickname by which we know him today, the one with the broken jaw. The gods temporarily took away Hanuman's powers, but because they were sorry about his jaw, they also gave him special powers of strength, speed, shape-shifting, a gift for celibacy, a prodigious memory, and the qualities of a true lover of God, all of which would be restored to him in future when he would meet and serve Lord Ram. Blessed thus by the gods, Hanuman grew up to be as strong as his father and flew about as freely and was quite mischievous in his childhood. In the meantime, Hanuman needed an education. "Why not ask the sun god Surya?" said his mother. She suggested he drives his chariot all over the world every day and sees everything everywhere. He knows all the sacred scriptures and he flies even higher and farther than you can. I'm sure he's forgotten all about that little fruit incident when you were a baby, she said. So Hanuman asked Surya to be his teacher. The sun god, however, refused. He had forgiven Hanuman for trying to eat him, but said, "I have a strict schedule and no spare time at all. I must keep moving. I can't stop to teach you. And besides, how can you learn effectively when I'm moving?" "But what if I keep up with you?" asked Hanuman. "Will you take me as your student then?" "But you won't be able to," replied Surya. But anyway, gave in finally. Hanuman flew up and positioned himself with his face to Surya, and Surya, who appreciated persistence in a student, began to speed across the sky, expounding scriptures after scriptures as he went. Naturally, this meant that Hanuman was always traveling backwards, with his face to his teacher. But isn't that as it should be? Hanuman was such a dedicated student that he mastered all the Vedas within a week. And what was Surya's leaving fee or the Guru Dakshina? Surya, who was perhaps a little relieved to see Hanuman go, declined any payment. Watching a devoted student learn itself is a reward, he said. Well then, said Hanuman, I can only offer you my gratitude and namaskars. If you think about it, some say that Hanuman's backward moving trajectory was the origin of Surya Namaskar. You will realize that as you perform the movements of Surya Namaskar, you tend to wind up at the back of your mat and then have to return to front in order to continue the series. And thus, the Surya Namaskar series was born as Hanuman's Guru Dakshina to Surya. What a wonderful story, isn't it? So the next time you move through your Surya Namaskaras, imagine that you're facing your teacher. Not just any teacher, but Ishvara, your ideal, the one who guides and illuminates your life and universe, just as the sun god Surya does for the world. Offer up each movement with love and gratitude. Thank you for listening.